Doom-mongers predicting house price crashes of 35%. Today, I'm joined by Simon Leadbetter, ex-Global Chief of Marketing for Knight Frank, Fine & Country and Countrywide. Simon, what's your thoughts on this?
House prices are not going to crash.
So we're filming this in the middle of March 2023.
I will buy a hat and I will eat it if house prices crash by the time this comes out.
So this will be coming out probably middle of April.
Yeah. House prices are not...
What do you define by a crash?
So a crash will be something akin to probably what we had back in 2008, 2009.
Which was a drop of 17%. We've already had 4 or 5% according...
Yeah. But the underlying things that were going on in the market, I used to work in banking at the point of the financial crash. I worked for AXA and then Prudential. I was right in the heart of it, of what was going on in the city when that all went horribly wrong. All the lights were red. All the alarm bells were going. We were heading towards an absolute catastrophic failure of the economy. We lost 40% of global stock market value. That affected everything. It affected pensions. It affected every aspect of society was affected by we nearly lost half of the total value of stock markets globally. I don't see anything like, and that precipitated because of the mortgage crisis in the United States, a whole collapse of the global financial system. That isn't happening at the moment. So the idea that we would have an
Hold on, there's that bank that failed a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, and was bought out very quickly because it wouldn't be allowed to fail. We know what the implication is of contagion. We've seen it happen once, and we're not going to allow it again. I think governments would behave very differently if Lehman happened today. We learnt what that meant for the economy, and the UK's barely recovered from where we were in 2008, 2009. So while I think we're going to be on a glide path down, I think prices will come down gradually. We actually went through a roller coaster up only last year and the year before. So we've seen a slightly above expected increase in the last couple of years. So it would make sense that they would glide down to a point where they're probably more on the long-term trend line, but I don't see a precipitous crash. Now, they can fall, but a crash, it was a sudden crash. I mean, 2008, 2009, it fell off a cliff. We're not going to see that. I don't see anything like that.
Yes, but what about the cost of living crisis? Inflation, affordability, you know, in the last few months, the number of mortgages that have been approved have fell off, really dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, the market is tightened. I don't deny the market's tightened. I don't deny things have got tough. I think there's many problems related to that. We're not building enough houses. No government has since the 1970s. We need to get back to building affordable homes in this country. We need whatever government hue it is to realise we need to build 300,000 houses a year. And we're building nothing like that. So that would address a lot of the issues we have in the housing market. Now, if we don't do that, I think we're probably storing up problems for the next 5-10 years. But I don't think there's still going to be a precipitous crash, because if we don't build enough houses, rule 1 of marketing, demand exceeds supply. Therefore, prices have to rise.
Okay.
If someone can tell me that economic rule doesn't apply, I will again eat my hat. So I'm going to get 2 hats now.
Okay.
But I don't see at the moment supply exceeding demand.
What about the elephant in the room, which is all these people who are on fixed rate mortgages coming to an end in the next few years?
So mortgage rates have fallen again. So
yeah, but still, you know, these people who are on 5-year fixed rates at 1.5%. They're going to be going up to 4%.
Yeah, I think there's going to be, again, an economic rough period. We're in for turbulence. I think we're in turbulence. Now, I'd like a glide down, but there'll be elements of risks of turbulence.
So you're saying we're drifting, but it is like that.
There might be a bit of that, but
it's not that.
It's not a fall off a cliff.
Do you know what really does scare me though? Transaction levels.
Yes.
You know, even from 16, 17, average of 16 to 19 figures, we're still 10 or 11% off those figures on net sales.
Yeah, we're in that uncertain period that we get periodically, and with our entire time in a state agency, we've been through an uncertain period because we had the Brexit vote, then we had COVID.
Yeah, but we're 10% below those figures.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're in for an uncertain period, but I don't think it's going to be this precipitous crash. I think we're sort of, a lot of people are actually, there's a lot of uncertainty around what's going on with Ukraine, energy prices, oil prices, but I don't think any of those store up to what was. How cataclysmic. I mean, I think we forget how cataclysmic 2008, 2009 was. Literally, things were falling apart globally. We never had a bailout like it at the time. Um, if you work in financial services, for the stock market to fall 40% is akin to 1930s. And we are nowhere near that. Now, as long as that stays high, the government can get money. We're an A-rated economy. We can borrow money. We can actually increase the money supply. There's things the UK government can do and the global economy will do, which I don't think we're going to have a crash.
But transaction levels are an issue, which means estate agents are going to earn less money.
Yes, after earning quite a lot of money, and actually, again, it might be a controversial view, a bit of a shakeout in industry from the number of estate agents we have is not necessarily a bad thing. I think fewer, higher quality estate agents would be good for the industry.
Thank you for your time today, Simon. It's been very insightful. And as the blind man says, we shall see. And we'll see if you need to come back later in the year to eat your hats.
I look forward to eating my hat. Not.
Thank you.